Thomas had been a prisoner for what felt like an eternity. He had lost count of the days, weeks, months, and years. Time had become a meaningless concept in his tiny cell. He had been convicted of a crime he didn't commit, but the evidence had been stacked against him. His appeals had been denied, and he had resigned himself to spending the rest of his life behind bars. Despite the bleakness of his situation, Thomas had found ways to occupy his mind. He had learned to read and write in prison, devouring books from the prison library and writing stories of his own. One day, a new prisoner was brought into the cell block. He was a young man, barely out of his teens, with a look of fear and uncertainty in his eyes. Thomas watched as the young man was led to his cell, his eyes scanning the unfamiliar surroundings. As the days passed, Thomas found himself drawn to the young man. He learned that his name was Jake, and that he had been convicted of a minor crime. Thomas took Jake under his wing, teaching him how to navigate the prison system and offering him words of encouragement. Despite the harsh conditions, Thomas and Jake formed a strong bond. They spent hours talking, sharing stories, and supporting each other. One day, Jake asked Thomas about his own story. Thomas hesitated, unsure of how much to reveal. But something about Jake's kind eyes put him at ease, and he began to tell his story. As he spoke, Thomas felt a weight lifting off his shoulders. He had never told anyone about his innocence, about the pain and injustice he had suffered. But Jake listened with an open heart, and Thomas felt a sense of freedom he had never known before. From that day on, Thomas and Jake were more than just cellmates. They were friends, united in their quest for justice and their determination to survive against all odds. Years went by, and Thomas's story eventually came to light. New evidence emerged, and his conviction was overturned. He was finally exonerated, and he walked out of prison a free man. As he looked back at the prison, Thomas knew that he would never forget Jake, the young man who had changed his life. He had given him hope, friendship, and a reason to keep fighting. Thomas and Jake remained close friends, even after Thomas's release. They would meet regularly, sharing stories and laughter. And Thomas never forgot the lessons he had learned in prison, that hope and friendship can conquer even the darkest of circumstances.